Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Eric over at American Business Systems. Want to welcome you here this afternoon to our Wednesday webinar. Looks like we're going to have a good crowd again. So we've got some early folks showing up, and I appreciate everybody popping in here. It looks like they're coming all in. Last week we had, I would think, one of the largest groups of attendees. I don't know if it was just because we were doing an interview or just there was a lot of people that are interested here at the first of the year. Either way, we were glad to have you last week, and hopefully that if you were here from last week and you're here for this week, I got some great news to share with you on some upcoming webinars that we've got coming along, and we're almost through with all of our research and everything that we've got to do on this whole thing on AI, this whole thing on artificial intelligence, and wondering if this is going to overtake medicine altogether, besides just medical billing. So we've got some great information for you. Matter of fact, there's a sneak preview of that Adam Phillips will be joining me on that webinar once we've got it all built together and put it all together, because he's recently just put together he's got a published article that just went out, and it will be published. I'm not sure when it's going to actually be printed, but it'll be a printed article in the Billing and Coding Advantage magazine. So this is pretty cool. So I'll be able to share more information as we kind of come along. What we want to try to do now is kind of time it whenever the article hits the magazine and that we've got everything kind of going there. So everybody be patient with us as we kind of get towards that date, and that'll be an awesome, awesome webinar. To me, it'll be one of the biggest highlights that I think we'll have this year on that particular topic. So if you've just joining me and you're just kind of popping in here a little bit late, I'm talking about a topic that everybody's anticipating us talking about, and that's the whole thing about artificial intelligence. And we've got some great information. Like I said, Adam Phillips, our CEO, just recently wrote an article that'll be being published in a printed magazine here shortly on that particular topic. And I look forward to sharing that webinar with you, along with Adam being on there. So that'll be an incredible, incredible webinar. All right, so folks, today what we're going to be talking to you about, medical billing schools won't teach you these 5 secrets. So as we're getting started this afternoon, I want you to have your pencils and paper ready. I'll give you some things to challenge yourself to do between now and the next time we meet on a webinar. But I also want to make sure that you ask your questions. So let me kind of give you this, the set rules and how questions, how they get answered, what order they get answered in. So, because I never want anybody to think that I'm trying to overstep someone's question. Obviously, I get questions throughout the webinar. Some are related to the specific topic that I might be discussing at the moment. And there may be some that come in that I think, oh, and I know I'm going to get to that in the next little section, so I'll hold that and set it aside. But if it's really something that I feel like needs to wait to the end, and we're getting close to the end, and I haven't answered your question yet, don't get off the webinar yet, because I'm going to make sure that every question gets answered in some way, form, or fashion. So just make sure that you're typing all of your questions. Looks like we're going to have a great crowd. We're matching about how many we had last week, so it's good to see everybody again. So one of the things I'm going to be asking you about to get ready to type in on the Q&A box is where you're located. What part of the United States are you located in? It's always good to kind of know where our people that are dialing in and kind of joining us this afternoon. Love to have you on here on the webinar. So again, as you can see, we're going to talk to you about what does medical billing teach you in a school versus what we do here at American Business Systems. So let me kind of just go on my little monologue here right after the first, before I kind of even get involved with the introduction. American Business Systems, we are here to help you build a business in healthcare. Let's just start right there. Because reason I say in healthcare, because many of our business owners come in and get started in what we know as revenue cycle management or medical billing. And from there, as you probably heard on many of our testimonies, that's just the launching pad to so many different other areas. So if you remember the webinar that we did last Wednesday, the ABS business owner that I had the privilege of doing our webinar with, not only is doing medical billing, but also doing credentialing. Now, credentialing is a kind of a big task there, but there's money to be made in that. Now, we're going to show you that you don't have to actually know how to do credentialing, but you can add that to your portfolio of some of the solutions that you can bring to the doctors. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. I want you to be thinking to put on your business cap on today and not your student hat on today. Okay, so there's a big difference. I want you to put your business cap on and not necessarily your student cap on. We're not getting ready for school to go stand out there in front of the house there and wait for the school bus to pull us up and then take us to school so that we go learn medical billing. What we're going to teach you today and share with you today is some of the background, some of the things that we're going to teach you how to become a business owner as a revenue cycle management company. Okay. And then we're going to show you all the different aspects of what it's going to do to support that. Okay. Some of you are going to want to do your own medical billing. Medical billing in and of itself is not a difficult task to do. You don't even have to worry about the codes, the medical codes. So if you're concerned about, am I going to have to learn about medical codes? Let's just kind of put that aside for right now. So let's dive into our topic today on what medical billing schools won't teach you, these 5 top secrets. Okay, so we're going to kind of dive into that. But I've already got Aletha. She's already kind of jumped the gun. She is the winner. And I wish I had something I was giving away. I might think about that. But Aletha is from Tennessee. Good to see you. You folks up in Tennessee have had some pretty heavy snow, some ice. Anybody from Mississippi? I know that some of those folks that were in Mississippi have really gotten some ice, but let's hear from anybody else. I've got Aurora, you're out there, Barry, Aaron. Let's see. Marissa is from, where are you from, Marissa? You can type in there. Inez, Jason, Nicole, Roy, Scott, Tyron, Veronica, Vernica. I'm sorry, Vernica. I mispronounced your name there. Okay, so we got folks from Chicago. Marissa's from Chicago. Looks like Gaurav, you're from San Diego. All right. We've got some Jason's from Washington, some other folks, Aurora's from California. Bernica is from Massachusetts. So we got folks all over. Nicole's from Tampa, Florida. Aaron's from Texas. Terrence moved to Arizona. So there we go. Hey, again, we're coast to coast here. It's good to see everybody. Hope that you're ready to enjoy the webinar this afternoon. And again, I want to see your questions as they come into your mind and pop out there. Feel free to ask any questions. There's the only stupid question is the one that's never asked. So we'll put it that way. So don't worry about your questions. I'm here to help you and coach you right along here. Again, my name is Eric Ogier. I'll be your host this afternoon on our webinar. As many of you know, that ABS has turned 30 years old, which is pretty impressive. I was actually talking with the founder yesterday, Patrick Phillips, and he and I were reminiscing about when they got started, and then whenever I came on board, a little over 17 years ago. Just what a wonderful journey it's been for both of us. I've kind of grown to obviously love this whole family, the Patrick Phillips family, and now the Adam Phillips family and what's all going on there. So you see a little history here. This is Patrick and Linda. And then Adam and Sarah, they are a long time ago. Okay, so Barry, you're from Colorado. Thank you. I appreciate that. And from Rand is from Scottsdale. Okay, so we got some great folks here today. Thank you for joining us. So this is a few years back, as you can tell by the clothing. I don't think anybody wears those types of clothes anymore. But this is Adam, this little guy right here in the middle. That's Adam, who is now the CEO of American Business Systems. But really how all this generated was that Linda, the lady right over here, was asked to do some medical billing for a durable medical equipment company. It was some friends of theirs. And she goes, I have no idea what to do. Don't know anything about codes. Don't know anything about it. He says, let me just kind of show you what you're going to need to do. And then few years later, Patrick's friends, Linda's friends, Patrick's and Linda's family started asking, what are y'all doing? How are y'all making more income? I know that at that time, Patrick was working some other jobs, but they said, we know that Patrick's not making that much money. So it was revealed to them what they were doing. They were actually gaining more doctors to where it became a home business. And instead of just keeping it to themselves, this family is one that shares. And this is where it is today. So, where Patrick has handed over the reins over to Adam, and where Adam is now our CEO of the company. Like I mentioned earlier, if you joined us a little bit late, he is not only the CEO running the company, making sure that we've got everything that we need to make sure that we have to get to you, which you need. He's also an author of a book, co-authored a book with Dr. Vicki Rackner, 9 Ways Doctors Let Money Slip Through Their Fingers. And then I mentioned earlier that he has written a new article that's coming out in this magazine, BC Advantage Magazine. He's written a new article that has come out about artificial intelligence and whether artificial intelligence is going to take over medical billing. A lot of research done by several of us here at American Business Systems. We all kind of pulled our minds together, sent him some information, and he did his own study and got some feedback for some folks in the expertise world of all of that. And so, folks, this is going to be a great article, but not only will it be a great article, we're going to turn that article into a webinar, and I'm going to have Adam join us whenever we get that ready. So you'll learn all about that. So, and enough for us to say at this time, we don't see it to be a problem. We can actually see it to be an advantage to you and what it's going to be able to help you as you do your medical billing. He is also the founder of an organization called MERMA. That's the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. This is automatically, you're enrolled in this once you've completed your training. As you can see here, you get a certification as a certified medical revenue manager. MERMA then certifies you, then you're part of MERMA. You'll be able to list that on all of your marketing brochures, on your website, when you're talking to your doctors, when they ask you where you got your education from, you can say, I got it from the organization of the Medical Revenue Management Association of America, which certified me as a certified medical revenue manager. That's what this becomes your story. Now, if you recall, some of you may remember that I mentioned a few weeks ago that I want you to start developing your business story. And it needs to roll off your tongue just as easily as it rolled off mine just now. Because a lot of you are wondering, okay, if I get started in this business, how will I build credibility? Well, it's just as simply as I shared with you, that you're part of the nation's largest group of independent medical billers with this organization called MERMA, the Medical Revenue Management Association of America, and they were the ones that certified you. You got your certification through them to do medical billing, not only to do medical billing, but to own a medical billing company. That's your business story. So I want you to kind of start getting used to it. Now, whether you're going to do this business or any other business, you need to create yourself what's called a business story. Some people call it your elevator pitch. Some people call it your 10, 60-second commercial. To me, I like stories. Stories a little bit more natural than trying to feel like you're trying to squeeze something in within a 60-second part of it. And the way that gets started there is that you've actually asked someone else to share their story before you get a chance to share yours. So that's what I love to do. And I'm here to help develop that for you. Hopefully you'll notice that I'm trying to do that with you through these webinars. I hope what you're doing is finding out that these webinars, that we're not sitting here trying to sell you anything. What you're learning today is just the foundation of what we teach in our training classes, in these certification classes. So what you're walking away from today is more than just a quote unquote sales pitch from American Business Systems, because we feel like the best people that start with us are the ones that are the most educated. And part of your education is how many times you actually join these webinars. So that's why we do this. And that's why I keep saying over and over again that I want you to start to be thinking of as a business owner already. As you can see here, I'm not trying to tell you anything of what you're going to need to do as if you were going to try to pass some course, okay? There are many courses out there that you can not only learn more about medical billing, or you can learn and get more certifications if you want. There's plenty of those out there. But that's not necessarily a requirement to own a medical billing company, okay? I mean, I like donuts, and today, if I wanted to go be in the donut business, what I probably would do is just go buy one. It doesn't mean I'm going to be the ones making donuts, although I may go in there and early in the morning and be there whenever they're starting to make those donuts at 4 a.m. in the morning. It doesn't mean that I'm always pressing out those donuts and putting them in the fryer and making sure that they're all nice and sugary and coated there. Is this I'm the business owner. So I want you to start thinking in your mind that what we're doing here at American Business Systems is to cultivate in your life and in your mindset that you're doing this as a medical billing business. So part of that is you need equipment, you need tools, and you need everything else. That's why I've got the iClaim and EMRX platform up here, because this comes along as part of your tool set. Again, kind of thinking about the whole donut shop. I don't know why I said donuts. I love donuts, but you got to have, dough, and you got to have this big dough mixer thing there, and you got to have all these different tools, and obviously you've got to have your marketing pieces and what you're going to put the donuts in after you put it on. These are all your accessories of what you do to kind of complete that donut shop. Well, what you're doing here is what I'm showing you here is this is the main part of what you're getting here in medical billing is the medical billing platform. Now, I'm going to pause here real quickly to remind everybody, because I know that not everybody can stay on the webinar to the very end. So remember I mentioned to you, make sure you're getting ready to take some notes. So here's your note for number one. What I want you to do as soon as the webinar is over today, if you haven't done this already, I want to make sure that you get back with your person that invited you to the webinar today. Then I want you to schedule a demonstration of the next-gen iClaim EMRX platform. No cost, no obligation. You need to get that done. And you don't have to do just one. You might want to do one just for yourself so you can kind of understand it, so that when you want to, you can come back and bring your business partner or your spouse or whoever it might be that's going to be helping you build your business. You're going to want to do that. So remember, step number one, some action items right after the webinar today. Get back with the person that invited you here, get set up and do a demonstration. Then they're going to show you all the other here's all the other accessories. Remember I mentioned earlier about coding? Don't worry about the coding, because we've got that covered for you in Audit Guard and CodeWrite. I might be able to take a little time today to kind of dive into that a little bit, but we have all these accessories, all these different things. Matter of fact, I was talking to a young lady just this last week. She was asking me, hey, what do I need to do to get in front of doctors? I'm not afraid to go out there and drop off my business cards and kind of get them involved in this conversation. So this is what I told her. I said, well, what I want you to do is get your business card, go in there and go introduce yourself. And I want you to stay on one of these solutions here, and that's Compliancy Guard. Now, Compliancy Guard has to do with HIPAA compliancy. Guess what's happening right now? January, February, March, and April. This is the time whenever doctors' offices need to make sure that they've got all their new updated information about HIPAA, that they've trained and retrained all their people, that they've got all that documentation in there, because at any given time, a HIPAA compliancy person from the government, from CMS, could walk in and say, hey, let me see your documentation, all your updated and who's trained and what's all that, okay? So this is what I told her to do. So walk in that doctor's office, take your business card, introduce yourself and your company, and you're here to see the HIPAA compliancy officer there at the doctor's office, and then pause. You're going to get a response, I promise you. And then you're going to get an audience. And you're going to get an audience usually and typically either A, with the office manager and or with the doctor. So everybody's wondering, how do I get myself in front of a doctor? And then when you say, this is what I'm here to do, I know that you're trying to get all your HIPAA compliancy things up and running. And I'm here to help you with that. I can do a small little presentation. I can actually do a demonstration for you. I've got, we can host a quick little webinar for you, no obligation and cost to you. I just wanted to invite you to do that. And then when people say, well, is there anything else that needs to happen? Sure, I got practice analysis that will actually help assist with all the information that I'm going to share with you for that demonstration. So folks, if you heard just what I said, whatever I just said just now was the cost of admission for today's webinar. I just shared with you how you can actually get in front of your doctors and actually get your first client. These are the things that a medical billing school will not teach you. That's just one of them. But I want you to also, here's step number two, something else I want you to do. I want you to go back to our website, and up in the right-hand corner, you see right up over there where it says, download our 5 secrets to success. what you're going to see there is basically an overview of some of the things I'm going to go over with you today. Go over there, click on that, put your information in there. It's going to send you a link so you can get that downloaded. And there's I don't know, it's probably about a 10 to 15 page document there for you to go through. And we're going to talk about the first thing there, which is educate to build trust. Folks, let me tell you real quickly. One of the things that we try to do with you is to help build trust with you. This is what we're doing today. I'm educating you because I want you to know that we're trying to build trust with you. Now, how quickly can you lose trust? Trust can go in a heartbeat like that. But the opportunity to get you to someone to build that trust takes a little bit of time and some navigating to get that done. So for our ABS business owners, we set you up for success so that you know more about medical billing and revenue cycle management than most doctors do. And a lot of times more than some of the office managers. And they really do know this. So what we're going to do, we're going to set you up and help you start to build some credibility. Because remember, you know that people will do business that they know, they like, and they trust. Well, here's another little sidebar. I was talking with this young lady this last week, and I was asking her some things. Do you have this? Do you have that? Have you been out and have you even gone out to the community? Have you been out to any of the local business networking meetings like a chamber of commerce? Have you gone out and done anything like that? She goes, no. I said, I haven't. I said, well, this is why you're probably a little frustrated and you feel like whether this is going to work or not. What I'm telling you here is this, and the same thing I told her and coached her on, and that is people don't know that you're in business if you're just sitting at home waiting for someone to show up at your door and say, hey, will you do my medical billing? So and again, they're not going to teach this to you in a medical billing school. Because what they're preparing you for at a medical billing school is for you to go get a job somewhere. Not that you're going to take the doctor's information and you're going to make sure that doctor gets paid as a business-to-business peer. Most of the time, medical billing schools, all they're doing is teaching you how to become an employee. That's not what this is all about today. So what is the best way that we're going to help you learn how to build trust? I'm going to show you actually one area that we're going to do that. And I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to grab this slide right here. So one of the ways we're going to do that, some of you may know about this book. It's called The New Thriving Medical Practice. If you've been on any of our webinars, you know that we've talked about this before. But to build trust is to make you an author. Okay? What better way than to make you an author of a book? What I mean by that is that you haven't written the entire book, but what it is that we've got an opportunity that you've written the foreword to the book. Again, I'm going to kind of go back to this. You can see these two little pages here in the beginning. You've written the foreword to the book. Every book, well, you can't see it, but I've got a bookshelf behind me. And almost all of the books behind me has someone that's written the foreword to the book, which is basically a summary of the book and their endorsement of the book. Okay? That's what you're becoming here. Many people, whenever they get this, they think that you're part of one of the authors. Being an author of any sorts builds trust almost automatically. We know that this is a way to shortcut everything by placing you on the front cover of the book. This is not some label. This actually comes printed from our printing company to be able to put that on the book for you, that the foreword was written by, I'm going to pick a name here, Nicole. I'm not going to say Nicole's last name, but it's Nicole, CMRM, Certified Medical Revenue Manager. Or it could be Roy, Certified Medical Revenue Manager. So we're going to teach you how to do that. And now I'm going to teach you how to do that. We know that a lot of doctors don't have time to sit down and read a 200+ page book. So what we're going to do is teach you how to, you can see these little yellow tabs. It might be a little difficult to see there, but there are little yellow tabs there that we use these, and so you actually got to get a pin like this, and when you twist that pin, it pulls these little tabs up here. If you can see that on the screen there, you can kind of see that right there. And we're going to show you how to use the highlighter and those little tabs there and place them very strategically in this book. And there's what, 6, 7 of those. What that does is it helps the person that's going to be reading the book because what you've done is there, you kind of highlighted some very specific areas that are going to be very important. And you're going to place that there, you're going to highlight it. So when the doctor actually ends up getting it, they're not having to read the whole book. They're going, huh, what is this? What is, oh, wow, okay, that sounds like me. And they get to that next one. Oh, that really sounds a whole lot like me. So you can see that what we're doing, we're helping them build trust and actually helping them get through the book a little bit quicker. This is the best way for us to help you build that trust. Now, one of the ways that this begins here is how do we support you in this success? We're going to offer you our own training. You don't need again to go to a medical billing school. We're going to teach you how to do medical billing right from the comfort of your own home. And this is going to take over about a 10 to well, I'd say more 10 to 12, maybe 13, 15 days at the most for you to get through our training. And you're going to say, Eric, how am I going to learn everything I'm going to learn how to do in 10 to 15 days whenever this is such a massive field? Well, do y'all recall that I just said that American Business Systems have been around for 30 years? That's important for you to recognize because what we're going to do, we're going to make sure that you have that support. And there's not a doctor in that's in their field that somebody here at American Businesses hasn't already done some billing for that. So we're going to teach you and make sure that you understand all the nuances. We're going to make sure you know all of the acronyms. We're going to teach you all the healthcare lingo and make sure that you understand what a CPT code is versus a diagnosis code is, what all that stuff. We're going to get down to some nitty gritty, really nitty gritty things about when we get into training. But that doesn't stop there. That's your first initial live training with a one-on-one teacher, instructor here to get you going. And what the great thing about this is that in between these training classes, you're going to start off having some homework, just like I'm trying to give you today. You know, first homework session for you is to get back with the person and set up yourself the live demo. You know, the second thing of what I've instructed you to do is again to really kind of dive in on some more of the other, to download the 5 secrets of success from our website. So we're kind of giving you some things to do, and I want you to be able to go out and do those. But imagine that we're sitting across from each other on a Zoom meeting like what we're doing today. And then I'm giving you instructions what you need to do next so that it builds on the next lesson. By the time that you get through with all this, you already have a game plan and probably have already gotten 1 or 2 doctors that might be interested in your services already. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that you have that training. Then, like I said, it doesn't stop there. Maybe once to 2, 3 times a month, we gather all of our business owners here at American Business Systems, again, over a Zoom meeting, webinar call like this. And then we're giving them new instructions or new updates or some new services that we've come up with. This is what we continue to keep doing. But one of the biggest things that we help you with your success is to connect you with someone that's actually going to give you even a further leg up. And I'm going to kind of address this twice in here because I think it's needed very much for it to be kind of seated. And that is our relationship with Dr. Vicki Rackner. I try to get her interviewed 2, maybe 3 or 4 times in a year. She's a very busy lady, but she's written a book called The Myth of the Rich Doctor. And so we're going to show you how she's going to actually help you get in front of doctors. Now I'm going to reserve the rest of that here for just a second. But then you're going to have a lifetime access to all of the material that you're going to need, whether it's additional training, whether it's supplemental training, whether it's more education, and all of your documentation that you're going to need to do the practice analysis. And also when a doctor's ready to get signed up with you, your agreement between you and the doctor. So that's all you have everything here within what's called our licensee support site. The reason we call them licensees is, and not a business owner's site, is because this is a licensing agreement that we have here. And so we're licensing all of our intellect to you, getting you trained and getting all that done to you so that you can keep doing it with it, like you see here, with countless educational material and all the other things. And obviously, I've already mentioned here that you're going to be part of MIRMA, one of the largest independent group of medical billers. So these are the things of how we're going to set you up to build trust. Remember, excuse me, that people like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. That's a given thing that's been around since, the age of the Stone Age, if you want to call it that. It's always been around. That I like to do business with people I know, and that I like them, and because I like them, I usually end up trusting them. Okay. Now, there's some shady characters out there. We always know that. And a lot of people might think that we're shady, that this is probably a scam, or why does ABS want all this money, and what am I really getting? Folks, I'm going to share with you that we're not a scam, and I'm going to share with you that towards the end, and what we do to help people understand of what we're trying to do to continue to keep building trust with you, even after you've made your purchase here and invested in yourself. So that's number one. We want to make sure that you are able to build trust with others, especially doctors that you're trying to get there as your client. Number two, what we want to do, so this is second secret. So the first secret was learn how to build that trust, and we're going to do that for you. We're going to create you as a trustworthy individual, again, by setting you up, of having you be a part of one of the authors of the book, of the New Thriving Medical Practice. So now that you've completed your training, we want you to become the expert. Now, this is, again, you're going to see some of this repeated here a little bit, but ABS is going to help position you as an endorsed expert with marketing materials and a team of specialists behind you. And again, one of the things that it helps out with, again, is this book, the book of the New Thriving Medical Practice. So here's number three of your homework for out of this webinar. I'd like for you to get a copy of this book. Now, for those that are here, I'm going to share with you a way to get a copy of this on us, a complimentary copy from American Business Systems. So again, when you call your business coach again to get them set up for your live demo of the iClaim EMRX platform, I also want you to ask them for a link or the copy of the e-copy or the PDF of this book. What you're going to find out, this is about a 250 page book. And I want you to start reading it and understand it backwards and forwards, because you're going to need this education, because I want you to become the expert. If this is if this is the arena and the sector that you want to be a part of, I'm giving you information. I'm giving you an opportunity to do a live demo with your coach here. I want you to get a copy of this in a PDF, and I want you to start mulling all that together. And again, get that 5 secrets to success documentation from our website. So today we're giving you things today from this webinar that, again, we know that it's going to be helpful for you in making your decision. So I want you to do that. Now, one thing I can't give you right now until you become a business owner here, and that's direct access to Dr. Vicki Rackner. Now, the reason I put this up here, remember a while ago, she wrote the book called The Myth of the Rich Doctor. And what she has been able to do here is she wants to make the introduction to a doctor on your behalf. Now, she just can't pull out of the phone book over here and say, okay, let's try this one, let's try this one. No. Remember, during the training, I mentioned to you that you're going to have some homework between those sessions. You're going to start creating and developing a target list of some doctors that you do want to go after. And we're going to show you how to be able to start introducing yourself to those doctors prior to Dr. Rackner recommending you or endorsing you to that doctor. This is what this letter is about. Now, there is not another organization out there that will have a doctor introduce you or endorse you on your behalf. And what it is that she's going to say that there's a book that she wants to be able to get to you, to that doctor, and introduce that doctor from doctor to doctor. That's what this whole thing's about. So you're going to be looked as the expert because Dr. Rackner considers you to be an expert. Once you've gone through the training here at American Business Systems, because guess who is our medical director for MIRMA? It's Dr. Rackner. So there is a connection there. So whenever if the doctor goes back and says, "Where'd you get your certification?" and he or she sees that Dr. Vicki Ratner is the medical director of the Medical Revenue Management Association of America, these are starting going to start to connect with the doctor. So this is a very important part of building you up and creating you as the expert. Not only do we have that, but we have other business owners here at American Business Systems that will join you on some calls with your potential doctors to help you gather that information and put everything together. The other part about it is that you're going to have all of the marketing material that's you're going to need as you're doing these things. Now, one of the rookie mistakes that a lot of people take will take what is there 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 different services here, and what they try to do is go to a doctor's office and say, here's everything that I do, here's everything that I do, here's everything I do. I don't want you to do that. We're going to show you how to very specifically and very strategically get this information into the doctor's hands. And even if we need to drip market it, we're going to show you how to do that as well. Now, these are regular 8.5 by 11 flyers, very heavy stock. They're glossy, so it's not something cheap that you're getting out of here. And it's going to have all of your contact information on it, just like it's going to be in the book. I think I shared with you that your name's going to go on the front of the book, but inside, when you wrote the forward of the book, your contact information is on there as well as the person that wrote the forward to the book. And obviously, being a part of MIRMA again, that's really going to help you because, again, remember that Dr. Ratner is the medical director of MIRMA. So this is a great organization that you're going to want to be a part of, and obviously, it's going to be very, very helpful for you. All right, so we're getting close to, well, we're already past the bottom of the hour. We got about 25 minutes left, and I've got about halfway through all of this. So hopefully you're getting a lot of your questions answered. I don't see any questions coming in, so hopefully I'm doing a fairly good job of keeping your attention. But if you do get a question that pops in your mind, feel free to pop that over there in the question and answer box, and I'll see if I can answer that. The third secret to success. Well, first of all, let's review the first two. The first one was build trust. The second one is be the expert. Now, again, what's the title of today's webinar? Medical billing schools will not teach you these 5 secrets. They're not going to teach you how to become to build trust. You would probably think, okay, I'm going to make sure that I learn this, so it's going to kind of help me become the expert. But one of the things that they can't also teach you is how to stand out and separate yourself from the competition. So let's talk about quickly who your competition is. If you've been researching this, probably one of the things that you may have done is Googled medical billing companies in your zip code. If you don't mind, if you've done that, just click the little hand over there. I want to see how many people have actually done that. So if you've gone over to Google and you put in your zip code and you said, how many medical billing companies are out there in my area? Okay, there's one person that says that. Let's see if there's anybody else. And I promise you, there's not just one person on the webinar today. What about Nicole, Ryan, Scott, Taryn? Anybody? James? Inez? Okay. Just one person. Okay. Good. I appreciate the honesty of the one out there. It's gone out there and done that. Some of you may not have. Oh, there's another. Okay, good. So there's a couple that have gone out there and done that. And Nicole says, no, I haven't done that. So I appreciate that answer too. You know what? I wouldn't even worry about it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because your biggest competition that's going to be out there is not necessarily another medical billing company. Guess who's probably your biggest competition out there? Anybody else want to guess who your biggest competition might be? Let's see if anybody types that in. Outside of a medical billing company, who do you think your other competition is out there? Doctor's office employees. Thank you, Nicole. Ourselves. Yeah, it could be yourself. That's good. Anybody else want to pipe in? Now, come on. Insurance. James says insurance. Okay. Any more? Another 30 seconds here. See if we got anybody else that wants to. This is good. I'm glad we're getting some folks. Okay. The biggest one is closest to what what Nicole said. It's really the doctors themselves, because doctors do billing, right? You never thought about that. You got to think about 50% of doctors in your neighborhood or in your zip code or in your area probably do their own billing. And so that means they have their own biller, they have their own people, and they're doing that. So what we got to do is figure out how to separate yourself from the competition, which includes them as well. Because I promise you, we probably help convert more doctors to ABS business owners as new clients that are doing their own billing than we do from those that are using another medical billing company. And the reason is because one of the things we're going to show the doctor is the money that they're losing just simply by having someone on staff doing that, because they're probably doing more than just that. And they get distracted. And listen, when you've got someone that's in a doctor's office that makes anywhere from 18 to maybe $22 an hour, and you got them doing your billing, there's no incentive for that individual to make sure the doctor gets paid, except to hopefully maybe keep their job. But there's no incentive other than just a paycheck, which means that when claims do get rejected, typically they don't get refiled. Or for whatever reason, they don't know how to do that. So what we're going to show you is how to use this iClaim EMRX platform to demonstrate to the doctors that by utilizing our system, immediately we're going to be able to save that doctor, not just save that, we're going to actually increase their revenue by utilizing our system, because when we're processing claims, our rejection rate on our claims is less than 2%, which means that we're getting the doctor paid about 98% of the time on every single claim that goes out the door when we're doing that. Now, is there an incentive to you that if there is a claim that gets rejected or submitted and gets denied or whatever, do you have an incentive to make sure that that doctor's claims get through? You bet, because what you want is 100%. You know, you don't want to sell yourself short. You don't want to be where the doctor is, that you're doing all this work only to get 70% of your money. And that's what a lot of doctors find out that they get, that they have a rejection rate of 20, 30%, and they're losing more money. Plus, if they've got staff doing it, it actually costs them much more. And we're going to show you how to break that down. So the second thing that we're going to do to help support you on that success is, again, making sure that you have all the resources and the tools that you're going to need. So remember earlier, I mentioned to you about HIPAA compliancy. That's a big thing right now. That's a huge thing. And then if the doctors do need any help with their coding, we have Audit Guard, which will help the doctors make sure that they're not overcoding or undercoding that would put them in jeopardy. Or if they really do need some coding done, we got that taken care of. But you see a little box up at the very top called virtual care. There's an opportunity for doctors to make money on keeping tabs with their patients via remote patient monitoring devices such as blood pressure cuffs and glucometers and pulse oximeters. Why do we know about all that? Folks, we just went through a pandemic just a few years ago. And the way that doctors actually stayed in business is that they started adopting these tools called virtual care. And we have those accessible for you so that you can share that with the doctor and actually help the doctor increase their revenue and have a better outcome of their patients than just letting them say, hey, start taking this medicine and call me back in 30 days and make sure it's working. The doctor will actually know that it's working if the people are taking their readings. There's not any, to me, I don't know if there's any other medical billing company franchise slash business opportunity out there that has these services. So it's very important for you to know that. The other part about making sure that you are separating yourself from the competition is, again, just knowing that your material, all of your marketing material is so pristine and your website is pristine, and you don't have to worry about, do you have misspelled words in your website or anything like that? That is all taken care of by us. We help you get all that set up properly. So this is very important to make sure that you are separating yourself from the competition out there. And a lot of times that competition comes from the doctors. All right, we've got about 15 more minutes left. We got 2 more little sections here, and then we'll start wrapping this up. The fourth one is the power of referrals. Remember my story I was telling you earlier about this young lady that I was help coaching this last week? I mentioned to her that if she is not out there building relationships with other people that are trying or that are probably already marketing to doctors, she's going to lose. She's not going to get anywhere. So, what's the quickest way to gain trust and authority with an audience? And that is someone to introduce you on their behalf, or they're making the introduction to you. Because remember, if I've got a doctor relationship, let's say that let's say I'm a real estate person, and I've sold this doctor probably their building. I've probably sold that doctor their home. I probably sold the doctor their second home. Maybe it's a couple of investment properties. Do you think there's some trust that's already built there with that real estate agent? You better believe it. So if I am smart and I go to these networking meetings, such as Chamber of Commerce meetings and maybe a business networking international meeting or these business after hours or anything that's out there business related where I know that there's other business people out there and I start to share my business story with them, they're going to go, you know what? I was selling this doctor a piece of property the other day, and he or she was telling me that they're just not making as much as they used to. And he knows or she knows that something's just not right with their billing. Is that something you think you can help that doctor with? And if your answer is obviously should be yes. And you say, well, would you mind helping me make an introduction to that doctor? Well, sure, I'd love to do that. You didn't have to market hardly anything. You're going to have someone who already has a relationship with a doctor and given you an opportunity to present what you're able to do. So some of you that have been on these webinars long enough, you kind of know what we're going to help you and try to help you get to. So I'm encouraging everybody here at the beginning of the year, listen, don't drag your feet on this. You've been here, you kind of know what we're able to do, and we want to help you get that. But helping you build these powerful partnerships with other business people is going to really be your quickest way to get in front of doctors. I've already given you a couple of secrets already that it's not even part of the program today of how to get out there and start marketing yourself out there. One was the HIPAA compliancy thing. Remember, I said go talk to go to a doctor's office and go tell them that you want to talk to the HIPAA compliancy officer. And then if you're starting able to build some business relationships and have those people refer you over to the doctor. This is how you build strategic partnerships. Sometimes you might want to give them a little cut, a finder's fee, or take them to dinner. Or if you get that, get a really nice gift card. Find one of those really nice restaurants in your hometown and say, you know what, you were so generous to help me. I would love to give you a gift card and here, go enjoy your steak dinner at, Ruth Chris or something like that. Yeah, it might cost you $300 or $400, but that's cheap whenever you start to get a client, like with a doctor, that will probably, in most cases, you'll have your return on investment with one doctor within the first year. I'll invest $300 to $400 on every one of my clients if that's what I've got to do. But I'm always looking for the quicker win. What is it going to do to help me shortcut my success in getting in front of those doctors? And this has been the number one way that all of our business owners here have done that because they built trusted referral partnerships. And you can see here, networking is the number one method for our licensees getting their first client. So here's I don't know, lost count of how many things I've asked you to do so far. All right, so I've asked you to get with your business coach. I want you to set up a one-on-one with them and do a live demo of the system. I want you to download the 5 secrets. I want you to get back with your business coach and get the PDF of the new thriving medical practice. And then here's the 4th thing I want you to do. I want you to, when you talk with your business coach, say, hey, I want to talk with some of your current business owners. And when you get that conversation started with that ABS business owner, ask them, what was the number one thing you did to get your first client? Most of them are going to say is I did it through networking processes. And just say, can you share with me how that worked? I'm a little bit nervous on this whole marketing thing, trying to get out there and go market myself. So kind of walk me through that. Again, this is all before you spend a dime here. you can do that. The other thing is we're going to show you and put you in contact, and we're going to show you how to build your own Facebook page, join the American Business Systems Facebook page, and then start to how to do all your social marketing out there. And so let a little bit of that start to happen out there. Okay, we've got about 10 more minutes and we're about to wrap up. So I'm on my last one right now, and that's how we're going to teach you and show you how to nurture those contacts. Remember, this whole theme of this webinar has been this is not what medical billing schools teach you. They don't teach you anything of what I've been able to teach you so far. So we're going to show you how to create constant marketing to grow your business. And we know it can be time consuming. We know that it can be laborious, but this is the advantage of being with American Business Systems. We're going to help you have a very seamless strategies to keep in contact with your contacts as you begin. One of the best things that I did, I remember when I first started working with Patrick, and we had some of these services out there to try to figure out how can we make sure that these things are working. I said, Patrick, let's do this. Let's test run a few of these. Let's create this small little medical billing company. And I said, let's test it, you and I. Let's just you and I do it. And we did. We really did do this. And I went out there, I did a little bit of marketing, I did a little bit of networking, finally got in front of a doctor. Patrick, I actually went and made the pitch to the doctor at the office, and the doctor said, you know what? It's between you and this other company, but I'm probably going to go with this other company because they're a little bit cheaper. And we go, okay, that's fine. We put them on a drip marketing campaign. You see those cards that are to the side there where it says I claim EMRX code, right, and all that. So what we started doing inside of one of our systems is called AutoCard. So there are campaigns, drip marketing campaigns that we did. So we just kept drip marketing this doctor even after the doctor says I'm probably going to go with somebody else, and he did for a while, for about 30 days. He did go with them. Come to find out that company didn't do anything, even to get them launched, just to get them to get them set up. We got a call and said, hey, would y'all still be interested in doing the billing for so-and-so doctor? We said, absolutely. He says, well, he wants to meet you and Patrick at his country club. Fine, we'll meet him there, sat down. And before the doctor got there, the office manager was there. And she said these words. She goes, you know what made the difference between that other company and you, and even though y'all are a little bit more expensive, she said, you guys never stopped marketing to us. And you did it in such a business way that they said, if they're doing this, even after they already know that we're going with somebody else, these guys are serious. And so that alone, that story right there should help you understand that not all doctors are going to say yes at the first part. Even when they say no, doesn't mean it's a final no. So we're going to show you how to do that. So as we kind of wrap up here, we did the five pieces of success here. So this last one was, keeping and developing a good way to keep in front of your contacts all the time. Again, that's the one of the five things there. So here's the last question I have to you. Have you found a common theme throughout the webinar today? And I hope that you have, because I've written it down here at the bottom here. We are here for you every step of the way, from your initial training to the ongoing support with lifetime resources and even more. Throughout every one of these steps that we mentioned to you, we never leave you alone. And I think that's what a lot of people are fearful of, that once I invested in myself and I've given my money to a company like American Business Systems, how would I really, really know that this is going to work and that ABS is going to be around? Well, first way, we've kind of proven that here, that we've been here for 30 years. That's one thing here. But we are here every way, from training to your marketing to onboarding that doctor to helping you make sure that you are billing correctly once you've got that doctor set up, and then helping you market to the next doctor all along the way for a lifetime. And there's no franchise fees. There are no royalty fees. that are ongoing fees with American Business Systems. We're here to help you. Uh, we feel very confident that once you've got your first doctorate, that you're going to have a return on your investment within the first year. And that's our commitment to you. So as I kind of wrap up here, I want to give us enough time here. We've got about 5 minutes left here before the top of the hour. Are there any other Q&As, any last minute questions that you might have for me? If so, you want to type those in here. But this is really what we discussed here about, what medical billing schools won't teach you. And these are these 5 secrets. Those are just kind of the overview of those. So I saved kind of the best for last. And so, okay, here's the question. Gaurav is asking, what is the overall cost of the program? There's a one-time fee right at $30,000. That's the entire time. That's all that you'll ever pay for here at American Business Systems. It's a one-time fee of $30,000, and it will cover your training, your lifetime of support, helping you with all this different training and the demonstrations that we're going to do for you. That's what we do. Solomon says, what does it take? Solomon, expand your question a little bit more on that one. But as we're kind of waiting for Solomon to kind of expand his question here, I do want to remind you that, again, one of the ways that we take a risk for you is that we have a 30-day money-back guarantee, which means, if you recall, that I told you it's probably going to take you less than 2 weeks to go through our training, which it still gives you a little bit of time there to still make your decision. Once you've gone through training and let's say that you get it done within 10 days, you still have 20 more days to find out whether this is something that you really want to do. So at the end of that 30 days, if you decide this is not the business for you, folks, let's be honest. There's sometimes we get excited and we think this is going to be great. And then you get through the training, you get the market material, you go through everything, and you go, I think it's a good business. It's probably a great business, maybe for somebody else. And you ever wonder about, if I sign that final contract, there's a way out of it? And I'm not trying to talk you out of it either. But I can tell you this, since we used to have a 5-day money back guarantee, which means that because what we used to have is training here. Everybody would come here to a hotel and we would go through all of those 10 modules in 5 days. And it was truly like trying to get a cup of water from the Niagara Falls. We had a lot of people over the years very successful with that. But we say at the end of training, if this is not for you, you can get your money back. There were times that during that training, we would, ever so often, once or twice a year, somebody would say, yeah, I think I'd like my money back. But since we've gone to a 30-day money back guarantee, and the amount of due diligence that we want you to go through these webinars, and the times that you're spending with your business coaches, and you're going through the demonstrations, and you're researching, you're doing all your research, that we haven't had one yet come back on us. So because we're not trying to rush you into anything. We want you to make sure that you're making the right decision. So you've got a 30-day money back guarantee, and that's in the agreement, so you can kind of go through that. Okay, so we've got a couple of questions that came through here. Solomon was saying, what does it take? You were saying what was the cost, and I did do that. What about licensing fees like iClaim, EMRX, and the EMRX tools? Okay, so that's a great question, Grav. And so what people are, whenever you're using a medical billing platform such as iClaim, EMRX, that's a cloud-based system. Okay, a lot of doctors are using iClaim, cloud-based systems. And so there is a monthly subscription to that in which the doctor pays for that. So Gaurav, if you'll get back with your business coach, when you go to set up and do your live demonstration of the software, have them talk with you about how we have the doctor pay for those licensing fees, if you want to call those, and how that's built inside of what you're charging the doctor. Okay. So none of this is actually coming out of your pocket. It's built in. So when you're budgeting any business, you want to make sure that all of your costs are covered. So that's why we make sure that when you're doing your billing, or you're setting your proper percentage of what you're going to charge a doctor to do billing, that it's either A, covering the cost, or you're including that in what for the doctor to pay. So again, that doesn't cost you anything out of pocket. So when we say that there's nothing else that comes from you to us, that's what we're talking about. It's not that. Marissa says, once we've completed the training done after getting the first client, we have to work under ABS, or can we do it on our own? Yeah, you're going to have your own business name. Marissa, you're going to have your own business name. You're not operating under the ABS logo or anything. You're going to have your own business website. It's not going to be like absystems.com/ whatever business system. It's not like a multi-marketing website type thing. It's going to be your own, and it's going to be yours. Some people, once they get started with American business, they've gone through training, they've got their first client. Sometimes we never hear from them again because they're very successful at what they're doing. All right, let's take through the last steps, what you need to do. So first of all, take down this number, 866-565-8413. If you haven't got a business coach, we're going to help you make sure that you've got yours. Here's the last thing I want you to go do. I want you to go get the research guide. There's about a 65-page research guide that you can get from your business coach as well. Then I'm going to go through these quickly because we're already at the top of the hour. We've got a complete mega place where all of our past webinars are done. It's on our YouTube channel. So go to youtube.com/YABS. We've got literally, I bet you there's thousands of webinars that we've got out there. You can go back and find out when my hair was actually black, my beard was black. You can go kind of look at some of those older pictures there. You can go back that far and see that. But the material, a lot of that we're talking about here is obviously on there. You can go back by and see all that. But really what I'd like you to do, if you'll go back as far, you can probably go look at everything for 2023. We're in 2024 right now. Yeah, 2023. Yeah, go back and look at all of those. But there's some, I'll tell you, the ones that we did probably the last 6 to 7 weeks towards the end of the year were some really great webinars. So go check those out. I've already mentioned to you, start talking to some ABS business owners already. Get that reference list. You're going to get that reference list from your business coach. They'll get that set up. I've already talked to you about the live demo, so I want you to go do that. The other thing I want you to do is go ahead and ask your business coach for the link for the purchase agreements. Go ahead and get that. It's about 5 pages long. You can read through that and get that over to your attorney or CPA or whoever else you want to look at it. And then finally, get your funding and your training signed up. It's ready to go. I think we can start taking some folks into our new training class even starting next week. So, Yzma, you've already said thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody's time this afternoon. Hopefully, there wasn't a lot of questions that came through the webinar this afternoon. Usually I get questions throughout the webinar. They kind of came towards the end. So hopefully I've held your attention long enough through everything that I talked about. And hopefully it was really good for you to do that. So you can give me some feedback here. I'd love your feedback. You can say, Eric, you were too slow, or you spoke too quickly, or you were spot on, or you were great, or you were just, you're blowing smoke. I don't care what you say. Listen, because I always like I want to make sure that I'm delivering to you information that's good and solid for you. So any feedback you can give to me, I would appreciate it. But I appreciate you being on here this afternoon, spending the hour this Wednesday afternoon with me. Again, we are developing our content to go over the AI stuff soon. So I'm probably going to be in the February month. So I think what we're going to probably do next week is maybe do a deeper dive on marketing, what all that kind of looks like. May even go into a little bit more detail of what you can find on the licensee support site. So if there is something that is really you'd like for us to kind of spend an hour on talking about, and you want to talk with your business coach that you're talking about, get that information to them, and they'll get it over to me, and I'll kind of develop some things here that'll be helpful for you. Anyway, y'all have a great rest of your day. Great rest of your week. Enjoy the weekend. If I don't see you signing up and hopping up on one of our training classes between now and next week, at least I know I'll see you next week. So y'all have a great week. Enjoy life, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Y'all have a good night. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.